shit's hitting the fan right now. I don't know. Everybody's pretty much panicking. Grocery stores are empty. I have hand sanitizer, thankfully. People are losing their jobs left and right. I mean, my market's still moving, but I lost my bartending job. Friends are applying for unemployment. I brought my grandma in from New York. Make sure she's not alone out there. Thank God I got her out in time. They just closed that down. But we'll see what it's like in a few weeks, man. This is going to be a crazy situation for a little bit of everybody. Get ready, America.
So a few weeks ago, I was booking flights to Barcelona and Tel Aviv for my cousin's weddings, and I was going out with friends and I was doing well at my job. And now, because of this virus, I don't know if the weddings are happening. I am not going out. I'm sitting at home, and I no longer have a job because I work in event planning, and people were canceling the events because they can't have them, and now I'm furloughed. If you told me a month ago that there was going to be this, huge virus that was going to quarantine the US and the world and turn my life upside down, I would have laughed, but here we are. And it sucks.
Hi, my name is Jacob, and I'm a registered nurse at a community hospital in the greater Baltimore area. I work on a telemetry unit, meaning that typically the patients we see are elderly with various comorbidities. Recently, my floor was converted into a COVID-19 floor, meaning that I'm seeing firsthand how this disease is affecting people. There's a lot of false information being spread around the internet that this disease should be taken lightly, just like the flu. While that may be the case for younger people, it's not the case for the elderly and immunocompromised. It's actually quite deadly for them. So my advice to everyone is to indeed stay inside, but also, if you're experiencing any symptoms of this disease, please call your primary care provider first, and they will instruct you if you should go to the emergency department or not. This is very important in minimizing the spread of the illness and protecting our elderly. You and I may get through this, but let's make sure that our grandparents or our parents can say the same. Thank you.
Hey guys, this is Safe. Really, when it comes to the coronavirus, I'm awfully worried about the economic well-being of a lot of people. And I guess my main thoughts are that if it's a prolonged hiatus from work, a lot of people that are hourly, which is 36% of the country, are going to be in a tough financial position. So while you might not get sick, you could very well lose your job, but I think things will ultimately be okay.
Coronavirus 2020. Let me tell you about it. It started with Donald the Dildo Trump denying the notion of it ever even existing in the first place, and now has gotten so bad that the Baltimore City mayor is currently publicly begging people to stop shooting each other in order to save hospital beds for patients with COVID-19. The world is currently at a standstill, and the lasting global impact of this epidemic will be noticeable for years to come. I hope that everyone stays safe and positive during this time. Oh, and in addition to that, Bill Gates and The Simpsons predicted this a long time ago. I really need to find more friends like them.
So I'm sending this to Kevin because I'm stuck here in Spain and he wanted to get my input on the situation. I think there's other diseases around the world that are killing people. Why don't we acknowledge those? All the world hunger is going around the world. I think it's ridiculous that I'm stuck in Spain and I can't leave my house unless I'm walking my dog or getting food. Yes, I think the deaths, from what I've heard from one of my doctor friends from Switzerland, are only to old elder people. So I think I should have the right to go outside and do as I want, even if this whole coronavirus thing is happening. I think the world is a bit too tense, and it's not helping for all of us being inside.
Corona is only getting more serious, and more cases confirmed. I guess I will just be still quarantined on my couch. See you never.
What's up, guys? It's Hudson. Just a little update on this whole coronavirus issue. Just a real big shout out to all the nurses and all the healthcare providers out there who are just really helping us out during this situation. Also, a lot of prayers out to all the families that are actually suffering through this crisis, and just may God be with you, and just really not to freak out over the situation. This is something we'll get over just like we did in the past. Stay safe, and all love.
So what do I think about this coronavirus? It's not the deaths. It's not is it a hoax. I think about the economy. So many people, so many small businesses are going to be hurt for years and years to come. This is something that's not just going to go away within the next few months. So that's what I worry about most.
So I'm from Southern Ontario, which is one of the most populated areas in Canada, and I've noticed that people are handling this situation one of two ways. They're either blowing it out of proportion, buying out the grocery stores, fighting with people over toilet paper at Costco, or they're not taking it seriously at all. Like, there's this university near me, and the students throw this big street party for St. Patrick's Day every year. You'd think it'd be canceled, but no, they still threw it. Hundreds and hundreds of people still showed up and filled the streets, as if there wasn't a pandemic.
What's up, guys? My name is Nolan Dowker. My current thoughts on the coronavirus outbreak are we need to be a little more smarter about it, at least here in America. A lot of people are still going on spring break trips. A lot of people are still partying. I myself have not been doing any of that, and I canceled my trip to Florida just because I don't want to be the reason my grandparents get it because I bring it home or anything like that. So, I mean, if you've been partying with the same group of people every weekend, that's whatever. You either are going to have it or not. But if you don't have it, just keep washing your hands, keep being smart about it, being safe about it, not going around too many random people all the time. And, yeah, I think we'll be all right.
What's up, everybody? My name is Nick Shrub. So my personal take on this whole coronavirus pandemic and everything that's kind of happened to me revolving around it, it's been very crazy. Within the last week, I've had 2 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitions I've been training for all year, just canceled. My LSAT was postponed until further notice. They're not really sure if the postponing dates are going to fulfill. And my contract at work got paused. So this kind of leaves me to think, like, what I do within my week and how I maximize my time and, you know, what motivates me, all these things have just stopped. So now what am I to do? I have to, you know, overcome these obstacles. So I'm trying to stay optimistic. I'm trying to stay focused. I'm trying to stay just on top of, like, what is to come. Like, what this whole thing is a learning experience for all of us. Like, this is not something that happens, you know, within the last 100 years to this extent. And it was worse back then, but that's beside the point. I really just feel like we all just need to really take care of ourselves, follow precautions, and take it with a grain of salt, because every single day really is a blessing. And having the people healthy and safe around us is what's most important. And these things that we create and the patterns, it's really all just made up at the end of the day. Like, everything, like, this is why it's really crucial for everyone to just do what they want to do. Like, make sure when you're 90 years old, you're not going to just be laying there and you're whatever, 100, 120 hopefully, but you're just not going to have any fucking regrets at the end, because that shit is bogus. And this is the time to really reflect and pick up the slack. So much love, people. Stay safe. Stay safe. Deuces.
Thoughts on coronavirus? Well, I think the silver lining is that a lot of people, a lot of companies are going to be forced to modernize. That, I think, is a big thing. Like, for example, my company, all the people who have been kind of slow adopters of new technology, all of them are forced to embrace the technology because they need it in order to communicate. So I would say that's my first impression for the silver lining of coronavirus from my perspective. It's a really difficult thing what's going on. It's actually very terrible. It's very sad. But that's a silver lining that I've noticed in my day-to-day.
Yeah, so about the coronavirus, I just think it's so crazy that, you know, I feel like the governments have responded to it really well, but just the fact that a few months ago, it was, you know, this thing that everyone was, you know, joking about, this new virus in China. And now, you know, it's gotten so serious that it's like, you know, shit's starting to close down because of it. And, you know, schools closed down, works have closed down, people, you know, working from home and stuff. And it's just kind of setting off everything. And I don't know, I feel like it's a big wake-up call for the planet, you know. It's like the water in Venice is clear for the first time in ever, because people just aren't out and about. You know, there's dolphins and stuff swimming down it, which is just crazy. So I feel like, I don't know, it's weird to say it, and I don't believe it, but it's almost like it's the world's way of like saying, you know, wake up everyone, we need to look after everything, because, you know, it's gonna go to shit eventually.
What's going on, friends? Just checking in to talk about what's happening with this crazy coronavirus. I'm actually here at work, still in the office, working the stock market, so it's been a little bit crazier here for me, but I'm just hoping that everything starts to get back normal soon, because the unemployment, the spike of people not being able to make a wage is really going to weigh heavy on the economy in I think 5 years to come. So this is really a crisis of biological measures, and it's something we've never seen before. So I hope everybody's out there staying healthy, wash your hands, just be courteous when you're around people, and just try not to be as outside as much as possible, because the best way is to stop this quick so we can get a spike in the market.
So everything going on with the virus right now has been absolutely wild. I think I was one of those people who in the beginning didn't really think it was that big of a deal, and then day by day my levels of like, oh wow, this is actually really serious, kind of ramped up, and it's made me think a lot about, you know, the things we take for granted. Like the other day I was in a grocery store trying to get like peanut butter and pasta, and there's literally none in the entire store and in all the stores around me. So it's been crazy to see that sort of stuff, but at the same time it's been really cool to see the ways that's brought us together. You know, everyone's looking out for each other, everyone's making sure people have stuff to do, everyone's okay, everyone's staying safe, and at the same time it's been crazy to see the environmental impact that the virus has had, you know, with water being cleaner all over the place, with noise pollution going down, and people just in general spending more time with friends and family, at least the ones that are really, really close to them.
Coronavirus is very tragic locally and globally. Please let's do your due diligence and follow the local laws and protocols to help contain this global epidemic.
So my buddy Kevin asked me to sit down and make a little video about the coronavirus and my opinion on it and all the crazy shit that's happening in the world. Give you guys a little bit of background. I was just on tour with Kevin down in the Bahamas for the last 3 weeks, doing spring break shows. Kevin was doing videography, I was DJing. It's pretty badass. So when we first left, the coronavirus seemed like almost like a myth, something going on in China. There was like 1 or 2 cases in the US, but nobody really made a big deal out of it. Slowly over time, we saw all of the tourism to the island start stopping. Things started getting canceled at home, and coming back, it was just a fucking complete culture shock. Came back to nobody at work, airports, everyone was wearing masks. It was kind of bizarre. I'm unemployed for the next month. All my savings in the stock market are gone. Pretty fucking crazy, but we'll be all right. I'm gonna make some music, and it's a great time to be a dog. Be safe, fam.
Alright, what's going on, everyone? It's Bob here. My thoughts on quarantine, pretty much listen to what these doctors, nurses, medical professionals are saying. Honestly, like washing your hands, self-isolating, all that jazz, you know, you do what they say, they know what they're talking about, and in the end of the day, it'll help flatten the curve and eventually save a bunch of possible lives that we lost. And I actually read something, it's like, when people, they don't see, like when they hear about the coronavirus and they don't hear about all these crazy deaths, well, that's because hopefully everyone's self-isolating and washing their hands and doing all these precautionary steps, which is at the end of the day saving these lives that would have been taken if people weren't doing what they were told in this situation, you know? So even if it looks like it's not as scary as it is, it's because you're doing the right thing, which is at the end of the day saving lives. So yeah.
Hey guys, it's me, Sean. Just wanted to kind of talk about the coronavirus. You know, most importantly, stay safe. Social distancing is huge. If you don't have to go out to get something, don't. It's completely fine. Stay in, stay with your loved ones. You know, make sure that you, your family, your friends are all healthy. And by doing that, it's huge. It can help stop spreading of the virus. And, you know, I know we're down right now, but eventually we'll rise up and we'll be stronger than ever. And I think that people will see this over time.
What's poppin', Kevin? Yeah, so anyways, coronavirus. Basically, the main word that's dominated our entire lives for at least the past month. But I think I'm going to go a little bit different direction than most people, because obviously there's a lot of really terrible things going on with coronavirus. People dying, people being sick, hospitals being overworked, and a bunch of other really horrible stuff. But undoubtedly, this whole thing, this whole pandemic, epidemic, whatever you want to call it, has brought a lot of people together. Like right now, I'm at home, I'm with my family. I know a lot of friends that also went back to see their families. And I definitely wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for this whole thing. I drove 34 hours across the worst parts of the United States to be back home. And since we're spending a lot of time inside, we're able to spend a lot of time together that we really wouldn't have, and focus on things that maybe we've been putting off for a while. So for that reason, there is at least a little bit of good to come from the situation. Obviously, not all, but yeah, wouldn't be here right now without coronavirus.
Yo, what's up? So Kevin asked me to come onto a video and give my thoughts and opinions on the whole coronavirus pandemic that's going on. So just a couple thoughts that come to my mind is the economy and the market, and how our economy's taking a shit, the market's taking a dive, and how this is going to affect us and small businesses and things like that. How are we going to bounce back? But then also another thing is it's kind of changing the way we're going to do business. You have businesses sending people home, telling people to work from home. And I think a lot of businesses are realizing that this is more effective. You can get more work done. And so I think that's interesting to see, like, you know, our business is going to do more of that after this whole thing is over with. And it's changing the way we're interacting socially, I think, too. So social distancing, if you will. But anyways, yeah, these are just some of my thoughts on it. But yeah, we gonna beat this thing, man. We gonna beat this virus, baby. Get it out. I don't want it. Get it out.
The coronavirus has been really frustrating. For me, I work in sports, and so I've lost my job because of the coronavirus. I mean, I'm happy that I still am healthy and okay. One of the hardest parts too is, as a student in college, everything's moving online, and we're trying to figure out how we're gonna balance this whole situation now. And it's been a lot of stress, and it's caused, I was supposed to go for a semester abroad over the summer, and that's gonna be canceled, and it's caused a lot of problems. But luckily for me, at least, everything's been okay. And I hope everything stays that way.
So I know this is a crazy time for a lot of people, but I mean, as far as COVID-19 and how it's affected me personally, I got the next 2 weeks off of work, and they're actually paying us while we're on absence. So I know I'm truly blessed, because a lot of people are not going to be able to say the same thing as they get left out of work. A lot of these families are going weeks without pay. So one of the biggest things I think is important is reaching out to friends and family, seeing if there's anything you guys can do to help. And touching on that, like helping as a society, right? So one thing I'm noticing is turning on the news, seeing thousands and thousands of people on spring break partying and turning up, which is cool. I'm not saying don't have fun during this time, but what we can't do is gather in massive crowds. You look at a place like Italy, where the entire country has been shut down. This isn't a game, guys. This is something we gotta slowly and systematically beat. So just be safe out there, guys. Be careful. Enjoy your time off if you have it, but do not be stupid.
This situation is providing me a rare opportunity. And while I'm not devoid of empathy and sympathy for my fellow humans who are suffering, this is a weird window where my family and I get to refocus our lives toward the things that we really want to be doing. And it allows us to cut through a lot of the noise that we get inundated with on a day-to-day basis, and allows us to realign with the virtues of our individual experiences.
Hey, this is Liam, just sitting here in quarantine, I suppose, like everyone else. I think it's just important to be social distancing right now. I suppose the hardest thing is, keep washing your hands, try not to touch your face as much as possible, don't go out unless you have to, and don't buy face masks or gloves right now unless you're showing symptoms and you absolutely need them, because I think medical facilities need them way more.
My name is Dylan Leonard, and I am a photographer and videographer based in Los Angeles. Like the rest of the world, I have been affected greatly by the coronavirus outbreak. I think the biggest things for me are the social aspects. One, being alone in Los Angeles and not with my family who are in other states, and two, having to completely avoid places like grocery stores or really any place because I'm type 1 diabetic and qualify as the high risk group. Something as simple as going on a walk outside to get some fresh air after 3 days of being locked in my apartment, and people cross the street as soon as they see you walking towards them. And then from a financial standpoint, many freelancers have had a lot of jobs canceled, worried about whether they were going to get paid from jobs they've already done. I've definitely been on both sides of that, but I know there are people who have it way, way worse. And I think economically, we're going to see a lot of negative effects for years to come from this. And I think there are also a lot of opportunities financially. If you look into stocks and things like that, there are a lot of good buying opportunities, but a lot of uncertainty. And so I think the only way to get through this is together as humanity, not just a community, but humanity, because it is a global pandemic and something that we are all dealing with together. And I think if we all just show compassion for everyone, we can get through it. I think if you can help people however you can, whether it's $50 to your friend in another country who can't work, or helping someone who's older, get the things they need because they can't go do it. So let's get through this together.
So as we know, coronavirus has somewhat swept the nation with mass panic and toilet paper buying. I think that's a product of social media and the quickness with which we can share information. However, I know a lot of the younger generations, including myself, don't see ourselves at risk as much as others. But for example, my grandparents live with us at our house, so every day I leave the house, I run the risk of bringing the virus home to them. So personally, I think it's a little overdone, but I think people need to be more aware of the potential they have to spread the virus to those who can't handle it, and just be more conscientious when washing your hands and being sanitary.
So my buddy Kevin requested me to put my 2 cents in about this coronavirus situation. So I'll just come out and say that first and foremost, I think it's absolutely insane to see the impact that it has on the way that people interact with each other. Just immediate, as soon as people started taking it seriously, all of a sudden we're just in our houses. And then how does that impact the different type of people, introverts versus extrovert? I'm extroverted myself, so I've been doing FaceTimes more often than I usually do to, be there and feel like I'm with people and get that social interaction. But then there's also the introverts that are already living that lifestyle and they're just enjoying it even more, that it's normalized, right? So that's kind of funny to me. But then in a more serious aspect, you look at the economy and how that's affecting people, like bars, restaurants shutting down. People can't afford their utility bills. People can't afford their rent. People can't wash their clothes because they're scared to go to the laundromat. They don't have a laundry unit in their house. There's small things like that. More serious than that, you had kids that are with abusive parents. The school shut down. Now they're stuck with their parents who are going to just beat them all day, right? There's small stuff. There's bigger stuff. Things get really serious and really dig deep. But, on the surface, it's just, I can only hope that people in this world are smart enough to figure this thing out quickly and get us back to normal. Whatever that is.
So my take on the coronavirus situation right now is that it's real and it's true and it's not a joke, and I really believe that people need to take it seriously before things get so much worse. I think that people who believe that this is just the common flu, or we're young and we won't, get it, or whatever the excuse is, I think that we should be paying more attention to what's actually going on. There have been 500 deaths in a day in Italy. New York is doubling its cases in a day. This isn't the common flu. This isn't, a sickness that is just easily curable. There is no cure right now even. So I think that it's really important to, be taken seriously. I also know that, it's such a stressful time right now. For me, I'm a senior in college right now, and my semester just got cut short. I won't be able to graduate in the summer, but I will in the fall. All these memories that I thought I was going to be making, and, finishing up my degree and all that is now obviously canceled. But besides the fact of the matter that, I'm in a stressful situation, everyone else like me is, in a stressful situation, my family, everybody is in the same boat right now, although we're all different and we all have different situations. This is not ideal for anyone, and I think that the more we take care of ourselves and, help the greater good, the easier it will be for things to get back to normal, and the sooner for it to get back to normal. So I just hope that those of you watching can agree with me and relate with me, and praying for us all and hoping that this is going to end soon.
Hey guys, with the recent outbreak in the COVID-19 or coronavirus, now more than ever, us as individuals are called to step up and take action. Listening to experts, avoiding crowds, and only shopping for what we need are small steps in the grand scheme of things in which we as individuals can hopefully help control this worldwide pandemic. Times are tough and forever changing, but that's for all of us. Please take a second to think and show compassion and love for one another, as we never know what the person next to us is going through. We have no idea what effect this virus has on their job, on their careers, on their families, on their loved ones, or anything else. Use this time of isolation as time to build better friendships with your friends and family, to develop new hobbies and new passions in life, and to also develop a bigger and brighter future for tomorrow. I hope you guys stay safe out there.
Hey guys, I know everything in the world right now seems super crazy. I would just say stay in high spirits, we're all in this together. As for me, I feel really fortunate. The company I'm with, we're really able to take advantage of this whole situation. But I also know that not everyone is able to do that. A lot of people are worried about the next meal or how they're going to pay rent. So I would just really encourage you guys to reach out to your friends and family, make sure they're okay. If you can help, please do. That'd be amazing. I also really think this is a very important time for yourself. You got to take care of your mental health. If there's ever anything, you wanted to learn, right now is the time. You can master a craft, anything, man. I mean, you have all this time, just use it, take advantage of it, and stay healthy, look out for everyone, and so it goes, so peace.
Yo, what's up guys? So yeah, this whole situation's pretty unusual, and I never thought I'd be going through it in my lifetime. It's been interesting to see how everybody's reacting, and people are reacting in different ways. But for the most part, a lot of people are reaching out over social media and like doing live streams and whatnot. And not to be cheesy, but I think that's kind of a beautiful thing because, you know, no matter what the circumstances are, people are trying to connect and communicate, and we want each other in our lives, even though we can't be close to each other physically. But, you know, I have hope, and I think everything will be good. It's just going to be an adjustment period. And yeah, so those are my 2 cents. Have a good one. Hope things work out.
Hey, what's up, Kevin? So, in my opinion about this whole coronavirus thing, I think everyone has to obviously take it seriously and do their best with social distancing. I know it's hard and I know it sucks because honestly, a lot of people has lost their jobs. I've lost some gigs, and I know other photographers, videographers that have lost some of their own. But at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do. So personally, I've been like changing my perspective on things and trying to make the best of it. For example, I'm trying to do like online courses, so things like that. So I feel like everyone should do things they were planning to do, but work or other things have gotten in the way. But since now everyone has a lot of free time, they could personally write out some goals they've been trying to do and complete them. And, you know, like I said before, trying to make the best of it and really be more proactive than reactive.
Hey, what's up? My name is Ashley Ritzma, and these are just some personal thoughts and opinions about the coronavirus. It's something that can be taken very seriously because it's spread to over 300 people already in America, and it mostly catches on to people who are older and people who have respiratory problems. But that doesn't mean that we should still be cautious about what we do, who we talk to. We should keep washing our hands, sanitize whenever you go out. Only really go out unless you desperately need something, and just be cautious about who you talk to and who you see every single day. Just thank you for being cautious and keep washing your hands and stay healthy and fit.
Hey, my name is Michael Fersola. I live in Florida. I want to talk a little bit about coronavirus and the situation, and I want to let you guys know that we need to be safe on our own, since everything seems running. Like right now, like we got a lot of jobs at work that basically they don't care how fast this thing is spreading out. They're not taking it serious. And at least myself, and I think you guys should do it also. You guys should like clean your hands every 5 seconds if you can. Clean your face. Also, if you're outside doing work or doing whatever it is that you're doing, don't touch your face. Like, try to be safe, because there's no vaccine. There is nothing to fight this virus. I was watching the other day a video of a lady in New York that got infected, and it was a little late, so she got the symptoms and she noticed. She went to the doctor. They only told her, go home, lock yourself. We don't have anything. We don't have anything to fight the virus. And that is scary, you know. Like right now, we have a bunch of places open here, and this thing is spreading like fast. It's getting bad, and I want to talk a little bit about Puerto Rico also. At least they are taking good action about it. They are taking a little bit more serious. You cannot be outside of your house. You cannot be in the street. You cannot be driving. They got cops everywhere to prevent people getting out if it's not important. If you don't need to go to grocery to get stuff, if it's stuff like that, you know. Also, if you need to go to the grocery, they limit one person to get out of the car, get whatever they need, and go back. You know, they're taking good precautions, and I think here and other states should do the same thing just to be safe. We're not being safe right now. Like, I'm working, they have a bunch of places open. The beach, you can go to the beach. We're talking about like what, a bunch of people together, and that's not safe, you know. We need to be a little bit more serious about the situation since this is spreading fast. Please, if you are outside, if you're like working or doing stuff like this, wash your hands every 5 seconds. Wash your face. Don't touch your face if you're outside, because you don't even know if you got it, like touching anything, you know. Try to not be touchy with friends, family, and stuff like that. Please, be safe and just wait. Let's just wait until the vaccine or anything like start working, you know.